My name is Emily Carter, and I became a bride only hours before I almost became a missing person. I was sitting on the edge of the bed in the most beautiful hotel suite I had ever seen. White rose petals were scattered across the sheets. Soft golden lights glowed from the lamps, and the gentle music of our favorite love song drifted in from the living room. I should have been the happiest woman alive. I had just married Ryan Blackwood, the man I loved more than anything in the world. I was an orphan, a preschool teacher with no family, no wealth, no powerful name. And suddenly, I was the wife of one of the most powerful young businessmen in Westlake, California. When Ryan stepped out onto the balcony with his phone, I saw his posture change instantly. His shoulders tightened, his voice dropped low. I couldn't hear what he was saying, but I knew something was wrong. 2 minutes passed. He didn't move, just stared into the darkness with the phone pressed to his ear, like he was being held hostage by whoever was on the other side. Then the door behind me burst open. Sophie, Ryan's sister, rushed into the room. Her face was pale, her eyes wide with terror, her hands shaking so badly she could barely hold what she was carrying. "Emily," she whispered. Before I could answer, she shoved something heavy into my hands. It was a thick bundle of cash held together by a rubber band. I froze. Her voice dropped to a broken whisper. "Take this. Go to the back door. Run, now!" My heart slammed against my ribs. Run where? Why? Before I could ask anything, I heard footsteps on the balcony. Sophie grabbed my wrist. "Please, Emily, if you stay here, your life will be over." I looked at the money in my hands, then at her terrified face, and in that moment, I understood. My wedding night was not the beginning of a fairy tale. It was the beginning of a nightmare. Just hours earlier, I had believed I was the luckiest woman alive. Ryan Blackwood was handsome, successful, and gentle in a way that felt rare. He listened when I spoke. He remembered small details about me. When I told him I was an orphan, he didn't pity me. He just said, "Then we'll build our own family." That was how he won my heart. The Blackwood family lived in a mansion by the lake, guarded by iron gates and silent security guards. Gregory Blackwood, Ryan's father, was the chairman of a massive construction empire. His eyes were sharp and cold, always measuring power. Margaret, his wife, was elegant and distant. Sophie moved like a shadow, careful and afraid. I thought they were just a strict, wealthy family. I never imagined they were hiding something far worse. When Ryan came back inside after the call, he smiled and pulled me close. "Just business," he said softly. "Tonight is about us." But his hands were tight on my shoulders, and his eyes didn't smile. I smiled back anyway, because that's what a new wife does, especially when fear hasn't yet found its voice. The next morning, sunlight filled the room like nothing bad had ever happened. Ryan was downstairs making breakfast. Margaret joined us at the table, polite but observant. Gregory entered without acknowledging me at all. It was then I realized something terrifying. This family was pretending, and pretending was their most dangerous weapon. After Ryan left for work, I went to Sophie's room. Her bed was unmade, her desk cluttered, and a small notebook lay open. I shouldn't have read it, but fear is louder than manners. The words made my blood run cold. Dad knows what he did. Ryan saw everything. I can't let Emily suffer the same fate. This wasn't paranoia. This was a warning. From that moment on, I understood the money Sophie gave me wasn't escape money. It was proof that someone inside this family wanted me alive, and that meant someone else didn't. What I uncovered next, the erased deaths, the buried construction collapse, and the video Gregory never thought anyone would find, changed everything. By the time the police lights flooded the Blackwood mansion, I was no longer just a frightened bride. I was a witness. Gregory Blackwood went to prison for life. The Blackwood empire collapsed. The mansion was sold. The name lost its power. What remained were people, broken, ashamed, but finally free. Months later, in a small garden behind our rented home, Ryan knelt in front of me with a simple ring he'd made himself. "Emily," he said, "I gave you a life built on lies. I want to give you one built on truth. Will you marry me again?" I said yes. Because silence protects abuse, and courage, quiet, trembling courage, breaks it.